right, and we are back for night 2 coverage of the Glassblown Open 2015 here in Emporia, Kansas. Once again, I'm joined by my studio partner, Robert McCall. Robert, what was your day like?
Well, you just punched me in the arm right before we started this, so it wasn't great.
Did not.
But otherwise, the live coverage from in studio was it was awesome to watch. Got to interact with the chat throughout the day, which was really exciting. Lots of positivity. Some people who didn't like our new disc golf sling, and so to those people we say, Weeble wobble away, buddy.
Hashtag Weeble wobble.
Yeah,
we're gonna make it a new thing.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And for so you can see what it looks like. Here you go. You ready? Boop. That's what it is right there. That's what the putt did to the basket. Little boop right there. So before all of the incredible action that happened today, we had an awesome night last night. Yeah. Lots of stuff going on. So over at the Granada Theater, they were watching the Goonies. That started at about 7 o'clock, and then after that, people began to roll over to the Dynamic Distribution Center, where we basically, while waiting for the sun to go down, many drinks were shared by all, frisbees were thrown, and then the bonfire was lit. So we got an introduction from our Swedish guests about kind of what the point of the evening was, why they're celebrating spring. Basically because it's been dark over there for months at a time, and so the sun has come out, the temperatures have come up, and it's time to celebrate. And so they let us listen to some traditional Swedish songs. Apparently there was even a singing of the Swedish national anthem. And I attempted to light the bonfire with a couple of jugs of lighter fluid that did not catch. No. However, Emporia's fire department, they not only put out fires, they start fires. So he came out with a can of gas, basically, that was on fire and started sprinkling it everywhere. That wasn't working, so he threw a couple of flares into the middle of the fire, and lo and behold, not too long after that, we had flames dancing 50 feet in the sky in a giant bonfire. Fantastic time. The pub crawl was also going on last night. I'm assuming pubs were involved and people were crawling by the end of it. I wasn't part of that because we were here in the studio telling you about the day. But it sounds like lots of fun was had. I know there was hundreds of people out at the bonfire. So if you're listening to all of this, if you're at home, if you're not here at the Glassblown, come next year. It's only going to be bigger and better. We're only going to come up with new ideas of things to do. The movie night, the bowling, the bonfire, those are all things that we did not do last year. And so we're going to keep making the tournament better, keep giving a higher level of experience to everybody, and just an all-around fun time. So, Robert, did you get to participate in any of that stuff last night?
You know, I did not participate in any of that stuff last night. Like you said, we were up here in the studio hanging out with Jeremy Rusko and Eric McCabe as well. But from what I understand, both the bonfire and the pub crawl went pretty late into the evening. Some night golf as well, which was also happening out at the Dynamic Distribution Center. And so lots of really cool activities happening out here. Like Dixon said, if you haven't come out here, you really need to come out and check it out. It's an incredible experience. If you're playing or if you're not playing, there's just a lot of things to do out here.
So like Robert said, the night golf was going on. It was brought to us by DG Nomad. And it's not just taking a disc or taking a light and putting it on a disc. There's actually glowing chains. So we got some pretty cool video of what was going out there. Let's take a look. So this is actually what this looks like in the dark right now. So you do actually put a disc, put a light on your disc so that you can see where that's going. But it's baskets like this that are all scattered throughout the woods around the distribution center. There was 9 holes. There was a disc that just went flying by in the dark. There was 9 holes set up, and there was prizes to give away. Basically, it ran like Ace Golf in the Oaks that they do in Arlington, Texas. It only counted if you got an ace. If you missed the ace, you just went on to the next hole. We only counted ones, and so lots of fun was happening out there. But while that was glowing in one part of the distribution center, there was something else glowing. So if you didn't believe me about how big the fire got at the bonfire, we got some video of that. So take a look at some of the incredible stuff that was happening last night around the backside of the Dynamic Distribution Center. So there you go. We don't really know how to start a fire, but boy, once it does get going, it'll get big. And I heard that actually as the night went on and the fire began to die down, people just started grabbing loose pallets and throwing them on there. So
Keep it going.
Who knows how many actually ended up being on there. I went to take a look at it this morning at the ash, and as I got close, one of my fellow workers said I wouldn't get too close. And as I began to look at the ashes closer, I began to see the nails. It was an incredible amount of nails. We went and picked up a good pallet and counted 120 to 150 nails on there, and it was something like 45 or 50 pallets were actually burned last night. So we're thinking upwards of 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 nails are actually on the ground in about a 20-foot circle. So if you're barefoot, don't walk through the ashes behind the distribution center.
Also, if you have very thick shoes, don't walk in the ashes behind the distribution center. It's not going to be your best bet.
Suit of armor is about all that's permittable back there. I don't know if you have one of those, and if you do, you probably shouldn't be walking around in it like that.
That's very true.
So with that thought of people walking around in a suit of armor, let's go take a word from our sponsors. Possibly the store is selling suits of armor now with D's on the side. I don't really know. So thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back in just a couple of minutes. And we are back in the studio, and if you don't recognize this guy, this is Tomas Ekstrom, all the way to us from Sweden. And actually, while he was speaking during the players' meeting, a guy next to me said, "Is he as cool as he seems and looks?" And I said, "Yeah, I think so. I don't know him too well, but it seems like that's the case." So, Tomas, welcome to Emporia. We're glad you're here. Are you having a good time so far?
Thank you very much. Yeah, of course.
Okay. So, if a lot of the leadership of Latitude 64 is over here in the United States, what's happening back at the factory right now?
I hope they work. I mean, they have a full-time job, and yeah, but we left Svante behind, the other part owner. So I think he will be in charge over there. So, but I mean, we have I think it's 6 or 7 that working full-time in the factory. So.
All right, so being the owner and operator, one of the owners of Latitude 64, do you have the chance to play very many tournaments?
I do.
Okay,
yeah.
So you're playing the Glass one this week, correct?
Yes.
How are you
correct.
doing in the tournament so far?
Poorly, I would say. But on the other hand, I play kind of solid actually. I mean, I haven't played for 6 months.
Oh wow!
So my first throwing this year was actually on Sunday. Jet lagged.
Oh, so, wow.
So I'm happy. I mean,
your first throw of the year was on Sunday?
No, I lied.
Okay.
Actually, I went outside my house before we left and just threw a couple of shots.
Is it still snow on the ground everywhere?
It's snow piles, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Well, I've seen pictures. I've never really experienced life like that. So you're not doing so great this week, you say, but you are actually a Hall of Fame disc golf member. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Wow.
So how long have you been playing?
I've been playing since 1983.
And when were you elected to the Hall of Fame?
That was a tricky one. I can't remember.
It's been so long.
Is it 2006 or something?
Oh, wow.
Maybe.
I have no idea. That's why I'm asking you.
No, I should know. I really should know, but I can't actually remember it.
So what was that like when did you get a phone call and say you've been elected, or did they say that they're going to put you on a ballot or something?
Yeah, well, I knew about the ballot, and someone called me, a Swedish representative of the PGA, and said, "Hey, you're elected. Can you be there at the Worlds and at the prize award?" And unfortunately, I couldn't be there that time. But I received we got a couple of discs and what do you call it? A picture? No, you hang a plaque.
Okay. A plaque. Yeah. Excellent. So what are your plans after your tournament? Are you going to stick around here in the States for a little while, or are you going straight back overseas to get back to work?
Straight back home.
Yeah.
I have to say, unfortunately, but me and my wife is coming back for the Worlds in August.
Oh, great.
And a little bit of honeymoon, I would say. Yeah.
Nice.
So you guys have a big tournament coming up in between when you get back and World. So tell us about the tournament that you're going to host.
The Scandinavian Open, the major. Yeah, it's going to be a huge tournament. Of course, we have all of the best players. I think almost everybody that is here is coming.
Oh wow!
I mean, not the 900 people, but all of the top best players. So it's going to be 160 full field, and that's all we can take on an 18-hole course. It's going to be tee times. Going to be a big party before for the community. We're going to have a tent that could fill up 800 people. Live music. What else going to have?
Will there be group singing?
There will be some group singing.
Okay, all right.
I'm sure about it, yeah.
Hopefully a repeat of the distribution center last night. That's excellent. But maybe with more people this time who know the song, I would think.
Yeah,
excellent.
Probably.
Excellent. All right, now tell us about, so if you were elected to the Hall of Fame 2006 or somewhere around there, you must have had some really good years as a professional before that. Tell us about your accomplishments leading up to that point and maybe major impacts that you made in the sport leading up to that.
Yeah, I was kind of maybe the first big star from Europe coming to the States. Me and another guy that's called Fredrik Granåsen. We made a big impact when we came in '93 and '94. We won the World Doubles twice in a row, and that was pretty big thing back then. And we were throwing very, very far. Yeah. You might have heard that. So I think that was when I got a name here in the States. But back in Europe, I was kind of, I was winning almost every tournament in Sweden and all that stuff. And then after a while, I started to work with, starting up a disc golf page on the internet. I done some reviews for. That was why I started to make discs. Actually, I was reviewing discs for a couple of years, and I learned a lot about. I learned a lot of that. I have been very busy with our course, and our club, and I've been working for disc golf, and that was I would say that the recognition I got when I got the Hall of Fame. So it was not based on my professional career. I think it was many things that.
Yeah, excellent.
So while people definitely want to know about that you do play and that you've been a good player, most people know you as kind of the artist, the scientist behind all of the discs that are getting produced for Latitude 64 and Dynamic Disc and Westside. So I think the question that people really want to know is what kind of new stuff can they expect to be coming out of these three companies? What kind of new things are you working on? Is there any sort of cool design that's coming down the way?
Yeah.
Anything you can talk about?
We have released a couple of discs. There will be released 3 more, I guess, to the Trilogy Challenge. That's the Makana. It's a putter from us. It's a shallower dagger, I would say. Best to describe it. You have the evidence from Dynamic Discs. It's more like a truth that is slightly more understable. I think it's a little bit easier to grip as well. I think it's a thinner rim. And we have the Sampo from Westside, which is a really good kind of mix between a speed driver and a fairway driver. Slightly overstable, very good.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend that one, or everyone. Later on, we're gonna release one more disc, I guess, this year, maybe two. Nothing is decided. It has to do with production times, everything like that.
So do you actually design every disc personally? Like,
yes, I do.
There's no one else in that department. It's just you.
It's just me.
So every disc that's in Latitude 64, Dynamic Discs, and West Side discs, you designed every one of those start to finish.
Yes, they are all
That's
my
incredible.
children.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, do you know what the total number is?
I think we all have about 74 molds right now.
Wow.
Is there any disc that has been put out and then just discontinued because it didn't work or something was wrong with it and you stopped making it?
We have one mold broke actually in the beginning. It was called Perimeters.
Okay.
It was a bad disc.
I've seen one before.
Yeah, tell me what you really think about it.
It's not really that bad, but you know, we didn't know what we were doing, so we asked, hey, yeah, it has a circle on it. I mean, it looks like a circle and it can fly. Yeah,
that's
we did
start,
it.
I guess.
Yeah. We've made it.
And also the medius is gone.
Uh-huh.
So we scrapped 2 molds.
Why did you scrap the medius mold?
I'm not sure. I think we lost it actually.
Oh, okay. So, I know right now that there are medius discs at the Dynamic Disc store. So there's a limited number of those discs just because they can't get made again because the mold's lost.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Because in the beginning we used a mold maker that made the discs for us.
Okay.
And when we started our own, and when we bought our machines, we took all the molds, but we were missing the medius, one part at least. So that's why it's gone.
So I think we're going to need an extra long commercial break so I can run over to the store real quick.
That's right. Collector's items.
And buy every medius that's out there. So you've got a couple of more days here in Emporia. What are you looking forward to?
Sunshine.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have that. It's supposed to be 80 degrees tomorrow.
Sunshine, meet all the friendly people you have here. I'm so happy to be here. In fact, actually, this is it's both work and vacation. I'm so surprised every time I get to GBO. Everybody's so happy and friendly, and I really like to be here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming by, Tomas. We appreciate your time here. Thank you for what you do for the trilogy of companies, Dynamic Discs and Latitude 64 and West Side. If you didn't do those things, then I would not have a job. Yep. And Robert would still be in Austin because there'd be no reason to come up here to Emporia. So there's a trickle-down effect for the things that you do, and we're very appreciative of it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. So go enjoy the night. Go grab a beer somewhere, maybe get some late dinner, and we'll see you out on the course tomorrow. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As Tomas exits here, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break, and once we come back, we'll have some more interviews. We'll be right back. And we are back here in the studio. So we wanted to take you to some of the live coverage that was going on today, some of the hot rounds that were happening. So before we get to the card that Robert and I were actually covering, we wanted to catch up on some of the action that was happening in the ladies' open division. Going into today, there were 2 pages on top of the leaderboard. Paige Pierce had a 1-stroke lead over Paige Bjerkes out of Colorado. Paige Pierce being the Texan 2-time world champion. And so we got a chance to actually catch up with both of these pages earlier in the day. And so let's find out what they were thinking about stuff. So first we have an interview with Paige Bjerkes. So let's take a look at what she said in getting prepared for the round.
You know, I love the course. It's great. You know, there are some birdies out there, which is nice, and there's also some really tough, you know, par 3s and par 4s. So I think there's a lot of variety in the course, and I think that really, like, it really tests all aspects of your game, and I absolutely love it. I think hole 9 is a really tough hole. You have to have a really good drive in order to par it. I mean, it's a tight drive, and then there's a beat to the left and the right on your upshot, and you know, I think a lot of people are going to fall behind on that hole. And also hole 18, it's a very tight fairway and it's a very far hole. So I think those are the ones where I'm going to need to really focus and, you know, think out my shots and do my best. My plan is to play my game. I mean, Paige is obviously a great player, and I'd love to, you know, be close with her the whole time. But, you know, if she can rip it a lot further than me and can get a 2 on a hole where I can only get a 3, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play my game. I'm not going to, if I see Paige going for something and land safe, if my original plan was not to do that, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick to my game. And really, my goal here is to play safe. Yesterday I had no OBs, and I think that's why I shot so well. So it's going to be a lot of placement shots, and that's my goal. Just get pars and stay in bounds. Honestly, Paige, Kat, and Jennifer are all on lead cards, and they can throw really far. I can throw far, but not really far, and I think, honestly, all of them have an advantage on this course. And for me personally, I think Paige has the biggest advantage because everyone is trying to catch her. She's on top, and she knows she's on top. And she's gonna, you know, as people get closer to her, she's gonna use that to fuel her and push her. So I think she has the biggest advantage. Oh my gosh, it's one of the best land tournaments ever. I mean, the first time I came to GBO was like 5-6 years ago, and I was just amazed, and it's only gotten better since then. I mean, there's so many people helping out. The staff is huge, and that really makes a big difference. Beautiful courses. All OBs are painted well beforehand, and I just think so much work is put into this tournament, and it definitely shows throughout the weekend. You know, it's one of my favorite tournaments to go to, and I love the dynamic this family. I mean, I'm a little biased because I'm on the team, but I just think this is one of the best events, and everyone should try to make it out here. And I'm glad it's an NT this year. It brought a lot of new people here because of the NT status, and I think people are surprised, and they're definitely going to come back.
So that's what Paige Bjerkes had to say before the round. We're going to catch up with some of the women's scores in just a minute, but the real story of the day was Paige Pierce. As you could probably say that about a lot of tournaments this year. Sure. She came in before this last tournament in New Mexico. She came in on I think a 7-tournament win streak. All pretty big tournaments as well. So Paige Pierce has been playing exceptionally well this year. She came into today with a 1-stroke lead over Paige Bjerkes. We caught up with her before the round as well. So let's hear what Paige had to say about today.
My plan for today is to just try to stay in bounds as much as possible. This is the shortest course that we have in this tournament, so try to get as many birdies as I can, score as best as I can here, so that tomorrow have a little leeway with I could be more aggressive tomorrow if I get a little bit of a lead today. Some of the holes I think are going to be trouble out here is definitely hole 18. That's the one that sticks in my mind the most right now, and especially coming off what could be a great round, you know, 17 holes of playing great, and then you get to 18 and, you know, anything could happen, lots of OB, and it's a longer hole. So I think just that one, and then the couple that are around the water towards the middle of the round, like I think like 13 through 16 or something like that. For the GBO, usually I bring a bunch of extra discs that are more overstable that will hold up in bigger winds, and this weekend I didn't have to break them out yet. Hopefully tomorrow I won't either. So I think that helps big time, just because I already know my discs, and we all do, and now we won't have to change our game plan at all. Jones is a course that I think all of us can play good at, just because it's really straightforward. There's not too many super long shots, there's not too many technical shots, so it's really anybody's game out here. I think whoever putts the best today is going to do good. The GBO as a whole is incredible. It's one of the premier events as far as like the whole tournament experience goes, because the only one that's even in my mind close in that aspect is the Vibram, but even that doesn't have near as many activities going on. Every night there's, you know, multiple different things to pick, you know, bowling, a movie, and all these things are free, like included in the tournament. You know, a bonfire, you can choose different things to do every night, and I think that's awesome. And the fact that there's like an app that gives you all the information, and the whole, like, Emporia is a relatively small town, and the whole town just comes together. Everybody that even doesn't play disc golf still wants to come out and support, and I think that's awesome.
And we are back after listening to Paige. I actually had a chance to catch up with Paige after the round. So going in, she had her focus. She was ready to go with that one-stroke lead going into a very tough course. And after playing and coming out, she actually has a 5-stroke lead. At the time, I didn't know what Paige shot. I saw her at the poker competition that was going on tonight, and I asked her how her day went, and she was kind of ho-hum about it a little bit. I left some strokes out there, and I could have done better, had some OBs. I'm still leading, but I feel like, I could have done better. I went back to my house, and I checked on the scores, and lo and behold, that round that was so ho-hum for Paige was actually rated 1,004. She shot a 56. The hot round in men's open was a 48. So she was only 8 strokes off of the 3-time world champion. So you got to love it when somebody has so much drive that they know they didn't do as good as they could have, even though they did great. They're still wanting a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Paige's rounds have been rated in the 990s and then this 1004. I think she's averaging around 998 or 999-ish kind of for the weekend. And that actually got me to thinking, Dixon, that's actually averaging higher than your rating right now, isn't it? If you put those 2 rounds together, that's actually higher than your player rating.
It's unofficial at this point, so I cannot comment.
Okay.
These rounds have not gone official.
All right.
And perhaps there will be a ratings update before they go official.
Yeah, you better hope so.
And what I really look forward to, Robert, is when this 1.5 years of injury catches up to your rating, and you fall to the bottom.
That's right.
Like someone from the pub crawl last night, and you are on the ground at like 9:05 for a couple of years.
The very deepest depths, crawling at 9:05. Hey, but it's going to be fun. I did get to follow the ladies' card for the first few holes to start off the day, and if you haven't watched these ladies play, they're truly unbelievable. There are a couple of ladies who we know are really at the top of their game. Paige Pierce is on top of the leaderboard by 5 right now, and then Katrina Allen shot a pretty good round as well, 57. So just 1 shot off of Paige's pace. That's going to put her in 2nd place. Right behind her is going to be Jennifer Allen, who shot a pretty good round as well. So the lead card is going to be looking pretty exciting for tomorrow. We're going to see if Paige can just, if she's going to step on the throttle and really accelerate to the win, or if she's going to play conservatively, maybe let some people catch up. That doesn't really sound like her, but hey, it might happen.
Well, I asked Paige, I said, do you feel comfortable with a 5-stroke lead? Is this something that you think, I got these girls, I'm just going to finish it out? And she said, no way.
I wouldn't either.
She said, if I'm up 5 on the 17th hole, maybe I'll feel comfortable. She said, but there is so much OB and such a difficult course in front of them that she's not resting on her laurels at all. She said, if I was 5 strokes behind, I still think I could catch up. And so these ladies are going to have the same mindset. So we are looking forward to a great battle tomorrow there in the top of the ladies' professional division. So Paige, I caught up to her at the poker tournament that was going on tonight.
Right.
Also in town going on tonight was the quarterfinals of the putting competition. So Wednesday and Thursday, we broke it down from the hundreds of people that were involved in the tournament, and we got down to the top 16 professional scores and the top 16 amateur scores. And they were set up as a bracket play tonight, trying to get down to the final 4 for each division. And so it's actually going on right now. We don't have the final results yet. I know 2 people that have made it to the finals.
That's right.
Miles Seaborn and Travis Powell, both of them out of Texas, where you are. So apparently there are good putters in Texas.
Yeah.
If I was just based off of you, I would say no, there can't be.
That's correct.
But apparently there are a couple good putters in Texas. And Miles was so focused, I gave him a call just a few minutes ago to say, hey, how did it go? And he said, I won. Or he said, I'm in the final 4. And I was like, right, who else? And he said, I don't know, I left.
I don't know.
So there we go. We have 2 of the final 4 that are in. I can tell you that Ricky Wysocki and Paul Macbeth both lost during the quarterfinals. And actually, I know that Miles had to play Paul Ulibarri in the Elite 8. So if Miles advanced, that means that our 2-time defending champion Paul Ulibarri is out as well.
Sorry.
I know that Yeti was still alive. I know that Ron Converse was still alive. Nate Sexton was still alive. So there's still some very big names out there. So I don't know who's going to advance. We'll find out probably by the time we're done with this show. Those final scores should be coming in. But as of right now, It's still up in the air, so we need you to come out tomorrow night. If you are anywhere nearby Emporia, come out to the block party. It's going to be a fantastic time, and we should be doing some live interviews. We should have some live coverage going on so that you can get a feel of the block party, even if you're not here with us in town.
Absolutely, and we'd like to send a quick shout out to Miles Seaborn. Miles, thanks for the intel that led us to only having half of the Final Four, even though it's completed right now. We appreciate your contribution.
You're wrong on that. He gave us a quarter of the Final
That's
Four.
right. We found out about Travis on our
Facebook.
own. That's correct. So, Miles, thank you even less than I said before for the intel that you gave us.
We give you 1/4 of thank you, Miles.
That's right.
For bringing that to us. So one of the cool things about this tournament, and something that we've really worked on over the last several months, matter of fact, our first meeting with the whole idea of doing this live coverage was back around in the middle of September. So we've been aiming towards this coverage all year long, and even the last several months of last year. If you haven't been keeping up, maybe you're just joining us, there's several things that are going on right now. During the day, we have live 2-camera coverage of the top card and the chase card. We have 2-camera coverage of the lead card. Smashbox TV and Terry Miller are covering the chase card. We have Jomez Productions that is out there filming all sorts of other videos and putting together recaps of the rounds. We have McFly out there. I'm sure you've seen a lot of his videos on YouTube, an excellent source for disc golf videography. He is filming the ladies' top women's card, and he is posting that the day after the tournament. Besides all of that, if you haven't downloaded it yet, there is actually the GBO app, which is letting everybody know the information that is relevant for the tournament. We can post scores there. That's where it tells everyone about our sponsors. It's got maps of the town on how to get everywhere. It's got maps of the courses. It's got a chat function. It tells everybody the schedules that are going on. People are constantly posting their pictures about life around town and the bonfire and the movies and putting, players pack, all that sort of stuff. So it's really a comprehensive coverage that is really setting Glass Blown Open apart in the disc golf world.
Absolutely, and it's been really exciting to think about this, and we discussed this some, that we think that this is probably the most covered event in PDGA history, with all the cameras that we have following the lead card, the men's open chase card, the female pro open card. We're just really excited about the amount of coverage that's happening out here. If you are able to get to dynamicdisc.tv, there are a lot of other things like Dixon said, other than just the live coverage. We've got coverage of the past Glass Blown Opens. We've got some of our tips from pros. We've got just a lot of stuff that you can do on there. So if you haven't made your way over to dynamicdisc.tv, please be sure to do that. And don't just explore the live section. Be sure to explore the other tabs as well. There's a lot of stuff going on that Bobby Brown is kind of at the helm at. He is the master, and we bow to him when we see him.
Not really on that last part, but I do say good morning, Bobby, usually when I see him. One other thing that Bobby has started doing lately is through an app called Periscope. Periscope is a relatively new media channel, and what it allows, it actually throws live video from his iPhone the moment that it's happening. So if you would like to see what's going on, Bobby shows all sorts of cool stuff that's happening behind the scenes. He shows some not very cool stuff behind the scenes as he's just walking around on the aisles and interviewing people, but it's a cool thing to be a part of. I know he's filmed some of the containers that are showing up at the Dynamic Distribution Center. He showed the baskets showing up. He's done some stuff out on the courses. So if you want to be a part of that, download the Periscope app, and you actually, once you have it downloaded, you can sync it up with Twitter. So if you follow @DynamicDiscs, that's going to get you, if you follow that on Twitter, you're going to be able to see those updates. You're going to get those videos, those live videos coming in from Periscope. So it's just another way to kind of experience all of the stuff that's happening through Dynamic Discs.
Absolutely. Now, just a minute ago, as Dixon was, as we were interviewing Thomas over here, Bobby was actually posting on Periscope, I believe. I'm not sure, but it looked like it. So there was some type of video inception happening during this session right here. So it's pretty exciting, but also terrifying, because were we the first ones being videoed? Was it a video of a video? I'm confused. But thank you for making the movie Inception and messing with our minds. That's where I'm at right now. I'm a little confused. Sorry, man.
So, I mean, what does that mean? Is it Tuesday or something? Like
I'm not sure.
You're always confused.
I wish I knew.
Saying that you're confused right now doesn't really give me a bearing on on anything that's going on.
I wish I knew. But let me tell you one thing I do know about. We were covering the lead card out there today. When they were on hole 11, we were watching our competitors tee off, and on the hole right next to it, we heard a huge roar from the crowd, and that can only mean one thing in disc golf. That means that somebody has hit an ace. All right, so we actually caught this on video. Smashbox TV had one camera on it, and then Dynamic Discs had a camera on it as well. Billy Engel out of Norman, Oklahoma. I spent a little time talking about him yesterday. Really talented guy, really super nice guy. He stepped up to this hole over water in front of a big gallery and just put the disc directly in the chain. So let's watch this footage real quick of Billy's ace today.
So as you 180-foot hole. Most of it is downhill, about 300 feet
Perfect
to carry
looking
the water.
line going right
Looks
toward
like
the
Billy has
basket.
popped his disc out there.
Bangarang.
I think that's a bangarang.
Bangarang,
right
Peter.
This is what did you say was a champion T-bird?
This is an 11-time T-bird. Yeah, Billy confirmed that with me just a few minutes ago.
If you're unfamiliar with disc golf, basically he threw it and it went in the basket from a long way away. We call that an ace. It is a single stroke on the scorecard. So even somebody that threw a fantastic drive and got a birdie, they're still losing a stroke to Billy right there. We were standing, I don't know, about 100 feet away, and I was actually describing, if you watch the live coverage today, Dave Fehlberg had just released his drive on hole 10, and I was describing what was happening there when all of a sudden everyone began yelling. And so like Robert said, that probably means there's an ace. It could mean that there's free candy, but it probably means that there's an ace.
That's right.
And guess what? It was an ace by Billy Engel out there at Jones East today.
Yeah, awesome shot, Billy. We're really excited for you knocking that down. We've heard rumors. This is speculation. I will not confirm nor deny this. We've heard rumors that this might be on SportsCenter tonight, maybe on the top 10. We know that they have the clip, and so we're hoping that that gets through. We'd be really excited to see that shot on SportsCenter. That'd be very cool. But we're not sure if we're going to have it yet.
So Billy was able to throw a T-bird on that hole because number one, he's really good.
Yeah, he's
but
good.
he was able to throw that T-bird because the course conditions today were perfect.
Yeah.
There was very little wind. I think I can remember commenting on the wind a couple of times, and even then, I don't think I ever said that it was more than about 10 miles an hour. And in the disc golf world, and especially in the Emporia disc golf world, 10 miles an hour
it's like
is
nothing. Yeah,
it's not even something that you worry about. Normally at the Glass Blown, once the tournament is over, it almost seems like some sort of pack of grazing animals has gone through, because every shot, people are multiple times picking up grass and throwing it into the air, seeing what the wind's doing. Right. I only saw that happen once or twice today. It didn't happen every hole. It didn't happen every shot because there's nothing to check. There's no wind. And so I think that's what led a little bit to the scores today.
Yeah.
So what was the hot round today?
So the hot round was shared by 3 people today. That was Paul Macbeth, Nico LaCastro, and then Eagle Wynn McMahon out of I believe California.
Colorado.
Colorado.
I'm
good at this. They all shot a 48 today, which is pretty incredible shooting out there. That unofficially rated in the 1070s, which is just absolutely blistering golf. So that's actually brought our lead card very close together.
Yeah, and that's surprisingly, that's about what everybody thought was going to happen. Before the round, I had a chance to talk to Dave Fehlberg, as well as Will Schustrick, Jeremy Coling, and Paul Macbeth, and I was asking all of them what they thought about what the hot round was going to be, and they all said around 48 to 49. I thought there was a chance that people could go lower than that, and actually Paul, through the first 8 holes, was 9 under par.
9 under.
He had 8 birdies and an eagle.
Yeah.
He was doing pretty well at that point. And then he had a pretty uncharacteristic bogey on hole 9. And after that, he missed a couple of shots out there. So I think it was definitely possible for him to go lower. But you can't be upset when you're the hot round at a national tour.
Yeah. Yeah, and when Paul started off like that, we were just kind of asking ourselves, like, is he about to just birdie all these and then eagle one of them and shoot somewhere in the low 40s to 30s? But when he bogeyed, he kind of shows that he's human. Dixon said on the broadcast earlier, he's actually a different kind of human than most of us. We would have made our bogeys much earlier, and there would have been a lot more of them. But he still pulled it together, shot an incredible round, and he finds himself atop our lead card for tomorrow. He's sitting at 25 under for the weekend.
Yeah, he's got a one-stroke lead. So what we want to do is after a word from our sponsors, we're going to come back and talk about what you can expect tomorrow, what the course is going to be like, what the competition is going to look like, and the conditions on the course, so that when you join us tomorrow at DynamicDisc.tv around 2 o'clock Central Time, you'll be prepared and ready to go to see this final round coverage. So let's take a break just for a second, and we'll be right back to look at what tomorrow's going to bring us.
Ask every top-level player if putting practice is important, and you will get a unanimous yes. Introducing the Recruit Basket by Dynamic Discs. This basket is tournament quality at a practice price. It can be put together or taken down in about 2 minutes and comes with all the necessary hardware and tools. The Recruit Basket has 13 inner and 13 outer strands of zinc-coated chains. The rest of the basket is electrophoresced first, and then powder-coated for protection from the natural elements. Weighing in at just over 50 pounds, it's very sturdy, but with the built-in wheel on the base, it's very easy to move. The Recruit Basket is easy to carry in a car's trunk because the pole is made of 2 parts. It also comes with an in-ground sleeve for a more permanent and secure installation. Get ready for tournaments. Get better. Get the Recruit.
And we're back. Here we go, live in studio. So we promised you that we're going to bring some of what tomorrow is going to look like. So at the beginning, let's just start out. What is tomorrow actually going to look like? It's going to be in the low 80s, and at least as of right now, the Weather Channel is saying that it's going to be 10 to 15 mile an hour wind out of the south with gusts up to 25. So if it's a 10 mile an hour wind, that means one thing. If it's 25 miles an hour, that means a completely different thing. So talk through what it's going to be like playing in those conditions.
Yeah, well, the Country Club is a very long course. It is, if it's not as long as Municipal, it's going to be close to it.
It's longer.
Yeah. Okay, definitely longer. Very good. So the wind is going to play with distance shots quite a bit. A lot of these guys are throwing very overstable drivers, so they're going to be predictable, but sometimes you get a wind bounce that you're not expecting, and there is a lot of out of bounds at the Country Club. And so wind really plays a big factor, especially once you get kind of past the 18-20 mile an hour range. That's going to be affecting shots a lot. It's also going to be affecting putting a lot. These guys are really good athletes and really good disc golfers, so they're going to know which side of the basket they want to play to. It's going to be very important for them to get a favorable wind for their putting, so that they don't have to worry about putting into a dead headwind at about 20 or 25 miles an hour. Like we saw from the wind putt video or that we discussed, it can be really easy for that to go wrong. I think these guys are going to have to be very careful about their shots. If it is very windy, I don't think we're going to see as low of scores as we would otherwise, but it's definitely going to bring some tight competition, and our lead card is already very tight. So there's a great opportunity for a lot of movement from players, maybe some even farther down the scoreboard as well.
Well, I was looking, and at the scores right now, there are 12 people that are within 6 strokes of the lead.
Right.
And like we were talking about with Paige and Katrina, 5 strokes is something that can definitely be caught. And as a matter of fact, the way that this course starts out, the first 3 holes are extremely difficult. Mm-hmm. And so right out of the bat, the same way that it was today, after 5 holes, Paul McBeth had started 3 strokes behind Big Germ. And after 5 holes, he was already caught up on a significantly easier course.
Right.
This course has gone in at the Country Club. If you didn't know, Dynamic Disc has been working with Emporia Country Club, and we actually have this course permanently installed. It's the first one that we have ever found out about in the world where there is a private country club scenario that has allowed disc golf to come in and install a permanent course. So it's a pretty exciting thing. Now, over the last month, we've been kind of testing out the flow of the course and making sure that everything works with the disc golf players as well as the members. And so the Dynamic Disc staff has had basically a month-long membership to come play disc golf on 3 different days of the week. So we've been out there for about 40 or 50 rounds between everyone, and Eric McCabe is one of these guys that's going out along with myself and Corey Obermeyer, who are kind of the area professionals. And through our crowd, I'm pretty sure that the best score that we have produced is a 55. Yeah. And we've had, Eric may have gotten a 54, I'm not sure. And as we talk through it, we think it's possible that somebody could get, if they were just shooting incredible, that they could get around a 49. Wow. But I think that would have to be just an absolutely incredible round. So I don't know if that score is realistic as much as it is within the realm of possibility. So one of the cool things about playing the Glassblown Open at the Emporia Country Club is hole number 1.
Yeah.
It's a downhill. I'm pretty sure it's 558 feet. The cool thing about this tournament is when you, one of the cool things about this tournament, when you register, one of the questions that gets asked of you is what song would you like playing when you tee off? And so there is help from the local radio station as well as the Emporia Country Club, and there is somebody sitting there on a computer queuing up a song for every individual person that goes out. So you get announced, there's a crowd of people that are cheering on, and actually as the people are coming off 18, they get a ride in a golf cart back up to the clubhouse. So people are constantly flowing into this area where you're teeing off. Your song starts, they announce your name, and then you get to throw down this hole. It is 500 almost 60 feet, but it's downhill, it's pretty open, and if this is a south wind that's going to be coming tomorrow, which it says it is, that means that it's going to be a tail right to left wind on a hyzer shot.
Right.
So it opens up this hole to where these longer guys can actually try to drive and play this hole for a 2. There's water running down the left side, there is an OB cart path on the right side, and there is water long. So this hole can really jumpstart your round. If you crank out a giant drive there and get a 2 on that hole, man, that's a good thing. It was in front of a bunch of people, your music was playing, you're excited to get the round going. But at the same time, if you try to throw that hyzer and you get it too flat, I've seen several of these top guys over the last couple of years, they actually blow right through the fairway and go into the water long. Or if they get it too high or not flat enough and it hyzers early, it brings that water into the left. So there's a giant swing of strokes that can happen on this hole. And as you've been sitting there and thinking all night about, okay, I'm on the top card, I'm on the second card, I've got a chance to win this tournament. It's a national tour, huge tournament, good payout. This is going to be great for me. And then you step up to that hole and you throw it out of bounds. Right. What does that do for you as you are preparing for the round?
Oh man, that's going to be really tough to throw that one out of bounds. What I love about this hole, it's one of my favorite opening holes in disc golf anywhere that I've seen because it forces you to make a difficult decision standing on the very first tee box. It's not like, now hole 18 is a difficult hole as well, plays to an island green. You're going to have to make a decision there as well. But starting on hole 1, for most of these guys, and definitely for our top card, there's no lack of distance on our top card, which is going to be Paul McBeth, Eagle Wynn McMahon, Dave Feldberg, and Will Shoestrick. Each of those guys can reach this green, no doubt about it. But if they start off their round with a 4, there's a good chance, or at least a reasonable chance, that somebody else is going to get a 2. They're going to drop 2 strokes to them right there. So it's an interesting take. I think it's, for these professionals, it's going to be pretty easy for them to get a 3 if they want to get a 3. You can play out to the right side of the fairway, throw a little upshot up there, drop in your 3, and walk away. But, you know, these guys, they're hungry. They want birdies anywhere that they can get it. And if they think this hole is attainable, I think a lot of them are going to go for it. I'm really interested to see the kind of swings in momentum that can happen just on the very first hole that could really set the tone for their round.
Well, and these guys know, for instance, so Paul McBeth is going to throw first.
Right.
He's got the lead in the tournament by 1 stroke right now. This is a new spot for Eagle. Dave and Will, they are champions. They know the pressure. They've played against Paul in a situation like this before. I'm curious to see how Eagle reacts to everything that's going on. But I can guarantee that Paul is going to drive for this green.
He's going for it.
Unless the wind swings around and it's going to be a headwind, I don't see any way that he doesn't go for it. Even on a calm day, I think he would go for it, but even much more with a helping wind.
Yes, absolutely.
So if the rest of the guys play conservative, or if that's their plan to go and get the 3, but Paul steps up first and parks a shot and is going to get a 2, they're already thinking, okay, I'm falling further behind this guy by playing this conservative shot. We're going to see if their game plan gets rattled. We're going to see if they're able to recover. But even after you step off of hole 1, hole 2 and 3 is another a pair of holes that's really going to test the competitor. Both of these are par 4 holes with extremely difficult drives that require a different set of shots. In past years, hole 2, the basket is the same place that it's always been, but the tee box, while being the same distance from the basket, has actually moved over much closer to the cart path. You used to be able to throw kind of a swinging hyzer out over the cart path and come back into play. Now there is a tree that's blocking that swinging hyzer. You're going to have to throw something flat right down the cart path, cresting over the top of a hill, coming into a blind landing that is actually sloping down towards water.
Toward water, yeah, absolutely.
So if you come in too hot on that drive, you're going to end up in the water,
right?
Which is going to leave you then with a bad angle to try to get up and down just for your par 4. After that, you're going to go to hole 3, which for me personally, I've played this hole, I think maybe 5 or 6 times over the last month, and I'm fairly confident that I've either gotten a 3 or a 6. I'm pretty sure I have not gotten 4s or 5s on this hole. A very difficult drive because you need a lot of distance, but it's very difficult to control yourself, to put yourself in a spot where you've got a good shot.
Right.
If you bring the distance back off of your drive so that you have a good angle, you are way too far out to make it with your second shot. If you really try to power that drive out there to get the distance, you bring a lot of trees into play, which is going to mess up your angle. And if you don't have the angle, you're going to have to try to work your way through a valley of about 10 trees that is very thick grass and upsloped. And so there's a great chance that you could leave yourself up to 200 feet out if you don't really pure those trees. So a tough start like that is really going to shake our competitors. But it's not just the tough start on this course. The finish is it's intentionally designed this way. The finish is incredibly difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. So we went and took a look at the redesigned hole 17 and 18 yesterday, and it seems like there are going to be some really big swings on these holes. Hole 17 is is par 4, is that right?
Par 5.
Par 5.
It's only
okay.
Par 5 in the tournament.
Okay. And it measures out around 780 feet, 800 feet, around there.
I think it's a little over 800.
Okay, yeah. So what you want to do on this shot is basically you got to pipe one pretty darn straight, a little bit uphill with OB on the left side, and you want to end up around the 380, 400 range if you got it. That can set you up to get to the corner so that you can make a shot toward the basket, which is guarded by a couple of trees, one of which is a willow that has branches hanging down, directly in your way. And so it's not a very accessible green at all. It's really tempting if you get your shot out far enough to try and take a big hyzer out over everything and swing back into this basket. The only problem with that is where that hyzer is coming back in when it goes out to the right side, there's sidewalk on the right side that's swinging in there as well. And so it's a really easy hole to go out of bounds on. Now there's a lot of big arms who are going to be playing this tournament tomorrow, and say they don't throw their best shot on 17. They end up a little short in the fairway. Like I said, there's that OB on the left side, but it kind of comes in like this and then curves around with the hole. And so it seems like
the hole's basically is shaped like the number 7.
Right. So it seems like a lot of these guys could cut the corner and just throw over the top of everything, get down there, maybe pitch up and take their 4. From what I hear from Dixon and the experience of other professionals, that may not be the best choice.
Yeah, I learned a new term this last week, and so we all know that par. If you get 1 stroke less than par, that's called
birdie.
Okay. If you get 1 stroke more than par, that's called
bogey.
Okay. So
I'm good at this. Can we keep this up?
If you get a circle 11, what is that called?
That is really, really bad. Okay, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
I found out this week that that's called a pig's nose.
Oh no.
Because it's got 2 stripes and a circle around it.
Wow.
So in a doubles round, me and Chris Adiego got a circle 11. Actually, it was a triple circle 11.
Golly.
On this hole. It's an incredibly difficult hole, and from there you are going to a 300 and almost 60-foot island shot. It's going to put our competitors in a position where they have to decide, possibly in a tied situation or maybe a 1 or 2 strokes, do I try to go for this island? And if I miss it, I'm definitely bringing 4 into play. If I make it, I can wrap up the tournament right here with a birdie.
Right.
If I lay up, what if my competitor hits the island and he gets his birdie? It is put our competitors in a position where they're going to have to make that tough choice. The same one they had on hole 1, they're going to have to make it again on hole 18, except at this time, they're going to be making it to decide who is the champion of the Glass Blown Open. Mm-hmm. So while all that pressure is going to be crashing down on them, the good thing is, as soon as they get done, the block party is going to start.
That's right.
And the fun thing about the block party, I think this is going to be the best disc golf party that's ever happened. Between the Glass Blown Open crew and the Hispanics of today and tomorrow here in Emporia, we're expecting a little over 2,000 people down onto a couple of blocks on Commercial Street of Emporia. We're going to have the awards ceremony. We're going to have the finals of the putting competition, who I just found out. It's Miles Seaborn, Travis Powell, and then Nico LaCastro and Jay Redding.
Wow.
So some incredible putters in there. Actually, 3 of the 4 putters from Texas.
That's right.
We're going to have the world's biggest ring of fire. We're going to have the funnel cake lady and the hot dog lady. We're going to have live music. It's going to be an incredible
Absolutely.
night. If you are within 100 miles of this place, get in your car, get here tomorrow at about 6 o'clock. You're going to have the time of your life out at the block party for the Glass Blown Open. And so thank you for joining in with us tonight. We're very happy that you came to be a part. Now remember, tomorrow, 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock is when we go live with our coverage. The lead group is teeing off at 2:24, so that means that Smashbox coverage will begin at around 2:16. All of these times are Central Standard Time. We're going to go see who wants to come and win the Glass Blown Open. All of the competitors on both of those cards are close enough to go win it. So unlike the last few national tours, whereas at Memorial, the eventual winners and those that were challenging were just out in front. Nobody was going to catch them. Right now, it is anybody's race. Paul has a slight advantage because he has that one stroke, but it's not a ton, and he has some absolute champions on his heels. So we are looking for some great weather, great coverage tomorrow. So thank you for joining in. We're happy that you have taken some time to look at the Glass Blown Open Tonight studios and the wrap-up show. So thank you for coming, and we'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock Central Time.
Coverage for the 2015 Glass Blown Open is brought to you in part by Dynamic Discs. Be passionate, be extraordinary, be dynamic. Latitude 64, when quality matters. The Professional Disc Golf Association. The Professional Association for all disc golfers. OGO, Ultimate Organization, Maximum Performance. Larry Cooper. Emporia State University. Delta Disc Golf. The Emporia Convention and Visitors Bureau.